said I would not. I feel good.
Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com. We're streaming live on the web. This is the Prima Pediatrics Healthcare Hour with Dr. Feldman. I am Kyle Jellings. And you can get more information, primapediatrics.net or 424-9000. That's 424-9000. And we're talking about it's a stressful time of year for both parents and kids. But we're putting emphasis on kids because this is the Pediatrics Healthcare Hour.
That is true.
And so we wanted to. I wanted to dive in a little bit on what are some stress relievers for kids, because you were saying, and you said in the last break, some kids get sick.
Yes.
And that stresses them out by itself. But then they have to go back to school. They have double the work, and that stresses them out. They're already stressed out from the schoolwork that they already have. Now it's doubled because they've been sick. And then maybe they go back to school too early, and then they're still sick and still not functioning correctly. So stressed out are our kids. So I'm wondering, what are some of the things we can do to relieve the stress in this time of year?
There's a bunch of things we can do. The first of all, there are a whole lot of things. The first thing is that if you have stressed out parents, you have stressed out kids. Okay. So the first thing is parents, take care of yourself. That's the first and important thing. Don't forget, if you're giving your kids flu shots, you should be getting them also. And most parents these days work, and it's tough on parents too. The first thing and the most important thing, and this is a tough thing for working parents, even beyond that, is that it's exercise. And yeah, how can you go out and exercise when you're so stressed and it's cold and it's dark and so forth and etc.? This is my strong recommendation. Find an hour a day and walk with your kids. If you're walking together, whether it's dark or not, you should be able to do it. If you're not a morning person, fine, because a lot of people find that getting up early enough to do a walk in the morning, even 30 minutes is fine too, by the way, is just, they can't do it because there's too much to do in the morning. That's fine. When you get home, the first thing you do is you go and you walk. The best way for a kid is if they get home from school, the first thing they should do is go out and play. They got to get their energy out.
Okay.
The first thing, not their homework, not eating, get them out and running. Because there are several things that are going to happen with that. Number one, they've spent all day cooped up in classes.
Okay.
Number two, they need a little bit of sunlight. And I realize at this time of the year they're not going to get a lot. But if when they get home from school they can get out, it will still be sunny out. Not horrendously so, but enough. Yeah. And they'll get some sunlight. That'll build their vitamin D. And the vitamin D is extremely helpful to the immune system. It also builds the bones, which is so important. There's only a few short years between about ages 9 to 16 where the body gets a chance to build the bones. So that it'll build their bones, and it will also improve the impact. It builds their bones in two ways. The vitamin D from the sun builds the bones, and the impact of running, jumping, even jumping is just as good as running. Have them jump. That's fine, because the impact actually strengthens the bones.
Oh.
So it'll strengthen their bones. It improves their immune system. It is a tremendous mood elevator, because there's no question that even if you're not getting your runner's high, an exercise high gives you the endorphins. The endorphins increase the secretion of serotonin, which is the feel-good chemical, the one that we need to keep from being depressed. And if you're not depressed and you're building your immune system and you've got strong bones and you're getting your energy out and you're playing, guess what happens? Everything feels better. And it's been shown scientifically that if you exercise for a minimum of 30 minutes a day of any kind, and it doesn't have to be running or jumping, it's something as simple as walking, it has been shown that it actually improves IQ points 5 to 10 points.
Oh, wow.
And it also improves attention, and it improves efficiency. And that's true for adults as well as kids. So you want your kids to do well in school. You want them not to be sick. You want them to feel less stressed. Bang! There you go. It's that easy. Now, you're going to say, well, but I have to prepare dinner when I get home from work. How am I going to do that? let me assure you, having been in this position many, 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 many times, crock pot is your best friend.
I know all about it. I know all about the crock pot.
So, crock pot, make the meal before. Get everything in there, leave it in the fridge. When you come home, put it on, go out and walk. When you come home, dinner's ready. Or, you don't want to do that? Microwave. Oh my gosh, yes. Get everything prepared the night before. Heat it up when you walk in the door. In fact, that's the way we do it at our house right now. Right now, we have 3 teenage boys. All 3. One
Eating you out of house and home, I
Of
assume.
course, yes.
Yeah.
We have a senior, we have a sophomore, and a freshman in our home.
And you can't keep food in the house.
Well, of course not. We chop every day. But the important thing is that rather than driving ourselves crazy trying to adjust to there, because this one's got track after school and that one's got Krav Maga and the other one is doing karate and this one's got basketball practice and, you never know when they're going to get home. So right now what we do is my husband and I prepare the meals in the morning. We get it all ready and then we put it out at 6 o'clock every evening. The food goes out onto the countertop in the pots and everything. The dishes are there. The silverware's there. And whenever any of the boys are ready, they come in, they put it all on the plate, heat it in the microwave, sit down and eat it. And that's it. There's no worries about who's getting fed when and when are they going to get home and when are we going to have dinner or any of that stuff. We do it in the morning before we leave for work. A lot of times we'll prepare the stuff right after dinner. During cleanup, we just throw everything into the pot and get it ready for the next day. It's just part of the cycle.
So, and that's not necessarily the way you need to do it.
No.
But find a way to incorporate exercise is what we're trying to get to.
Exactly.
And you just gave an example of what you do.
What we do. But there's whatever it is that you need to do, don't do away with the exercise. If you feel like you're too dead to move when you get home, you'd be amazed what happens when you get out and start to walk. Because not only are you out walking and exercising and you're out in fresh air and you're with your kid and you're doing good things for your kid, and if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your kid for sure. But in addition, it gives you 30 minutes of together time.
Absolutely.
It's time where instead of the kids looking at you at the dinner table and fidgeting and wanting to get the heck away, they actually can talk to you.
Absolutely.
Another idea, put the phones away.
Put the phones away.
You can have your cell phone with you. You have to kind of when you're walking someplace because just in case something happens. But turn off the ringer.
Yeah.
Don't answer it. Okay. Talk to each other. That's the gist. You gotta talk, and that in and of itself will relieve the stress on your kids and yourself more than you could ever imagine. Well, how are they going to get their homework done? Let me assure you, if you've been out and exercising, when you come in, they will be 3 times more efficient on their homework than they would have been.
Blood will be pumping and they'll be ready to go. Okay, so exercise is one way we can relieve stress. We're going to talk about more ways to relieve stress after this. This is the Prima Pediatrics Health Care Hour on AM 1220 KHTS.